Jump right into the Panda's ready to go even. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. We got Complexity taking on TteS Sports here in a best out of 3. Again, this is the winners bracket semifinal. Specific word there, winners, meaning if you happen to lose here, you'll just be dropped down to the losers bracket. So it's not 100% over, but it definitely makes the road that much tougher as far as advancing on. So Complexity the favorite, but still, if you're going to match up a team against Complexity to have a good chance of beating them, you definitely got to give it to TteS Sports. So really expecting an awesome series. If you're tuning in today, you can really expect to get probably some of the best HoN action you could possibly get nowadays. So really can't wait to see what happens. The blind band phase, of course, kicking off. We got Slicks against B-Kid as far as the battle of the captains go. And there you go. The blind band's actually happening. B-Kid choosing to go with Jeraziah and Demented Shaman. And TteS Sports going with Tundra Pebbles. So I'm looking over here on the homeboard side. That's not DDoS. This is TteS Sports. But still, B-Kid going with the Demented Shaman band.
Yeah, maybe he just knows something that we don't. Maybe he heard someone or let some little information out saying that they'd like to pick a Demented Shaman or wanted to as a solo role. Again, I really think it's strong. But normally we see actually B-Kid ban something like a Jeraziah Nymph or a Jeraziah Fade because it's very, very, well, Nymph especially is very, very cheesy. Now, I don't think that TteS Sports is a team. Actually, no, I'm wrong. They do actually pick Fade, I think. And,
yeah, they do. Yeah.
Actually, well, really most teams are starting to pick up Fade quite a lot. Now, Nymph 4 is a hero I know Complexity, especially B-Kid, hates. I'm right there with him. There's nothing worse than seeing a Nymph 4 locked, and you kind of feel like you're forced to first pick him, but you don't really want to waste that pick on him. It's just a hard and very annoying hero to play against. And there we go, TteS Sports with a Valkyrie and Plague. They really, really love their Valkyrie, and I'm not quite sure why. Now, I will say that Valkyrie's very, very strong in the suicide role. We actually don't see her played very often in the well, as much as we used to.
Yeah,
being played as a suicide role, but it's actually quite strong because she can man up very well against those supports. Like, say it's a Glacius mage main, and the Glacius is up there trying to man up against a Valkyrie. Valkyrie can actually hold her own and do very well against that. So that's why I think Valkyrie's very big in the suicide lane, but I don't like her laning at all because of the nerf to her arrow. Yeah,
I mean, she has very good range, decent movement speed early on, and of course she has that escape ability to play in the suicide lane very effectively. So, but as far as TteS Sports, that's just it's just one of those signature heroes. I think it just simply comes down to WTF, Leon Black, and Slicks, especially WTF. Really, they're just so comfortable playing a hero like that. So, yeah, perhaps that's a big reason for that. I mean, seeing that Cthulhu lock, by the way, by B-Kid, we did see that yesterday as well against Q Squad when we casted them. So once again, going with the Cthulhu lock here. I don't believe they ended up picking it up, but still, kind of interesting on that. Ophelia Bubbles, the follow-ups for Complexity, and then actually Tempest to finish things off strong for TteS Sports. So yeah, overall, the lock pool, very, very powerful. Nothing really trollish style by any means when it comes down to it. Now, with that said as well, we did, of course, get to cast both of these teams yesterday. Complexity in the earlier match against Q Squad, which, again, they did look very dominant and ultimately came out 2-0. TteS Sports, they played against Vitriolic, and they, too, looked very dominant against Vitriolic, to the surprise of many, especially including yourself even. So, yeah, again, both of these teams are coming off a big high, with that said, as far as some big victories just yesterday.
Yeah, I think there's some really, really good bands coming out here. Very, very smart locks as well. First pick Glacius, I really am not surprised with that. I actually was thinking that Complexity should ban Glacius even, especially with Ophelia in that lock pool. I thought what would have been really good is banning Glacius first picking a Luna. Of course, if you ban Glacius, especially with Nymph 4 banned already, there's a good chance that Slicks could just ban a Luna. So he does go with the Glacius, a very, very strong pick. I would assume that Complexity is going to first pick that Ophelia out of that pool. Now, they don't have to because they already have the Glacius pick, so they could go something like a Bubbles. Now, the thing is, though, a lot of teams, including TteS Sports, have been picking both Tempest and Ophelia, and it's very, very strong. It's really strong. It gets your lanes done very, very well. They're very, very strong, and you also have lots of pushing power. So I don't know if a first pick Bubbles, I just have this feeling like Complexity is going to first pick Bubbles, but I think that something like a first pick Ophelia might be a bit stronger. You still have Valkyrie there if you really need to for that suicide, or even Cthulhu. I've seen Complexity run Cthulhu suicide, but they have options right now. I like the Glacius pick, though.
Yeah, we'll see. You would like to think, though, again, especially with that pull that you're kind of talking about, Aluna definitely a very valuable hero here as far as the regular picking phase goes, but we'll see if TteS Sports perhaps looks to pick her up, and sure enough they do, on top of the Wild Soul pick. And as we've talked about, Wild Soul is coming back into the competitive scene as a more and more liked hero by more and more teams, and TteS Sports definitely one of those teams here that likes to play him as well. So definitely a strong pick there. Not Complexity. They're next to going to be finishing up the regular picking phase here.
Yeah, Wild Soul is very versatile in the sense that you can throw him in really short lane, long lane, jungle anyway. it doesn't really matter. It depends. You can base it off of what you think their lanes are going to be. Right now, I really think that Complexity is going to value Bubbles. I really do. They do go the Mage Bane pickup here. Now, Fade is still in the Mage Bane and then Fade. We saw them do this exact same thing yesterday, where they picked both Mage Bane and Fade together. So we're going to see a Fade mid. Again, this is very, very standard Complexity here. Fade mid, Mage Bane, Glacius bottom. And, they have a jungler to choose from right here. But I think right now, as a value, Bubbles is going to be valued over. Now, if they do pick Bubbles here, I would very, very suggest that Wild Soul solos top short lane. Nope, they go with the Ophelia.
Yeah. So now Tempest Bubbles could make sense here, something like that, or
yeah. They have options. Bubbles
have options,
is definitely very, very good. It really depends on what they do. I really think. I don't know. Actually, I almost think Cthulhu font would be decent here, like a Bubbles Cthulhu font. It depends. They have a lot of options. Basically, the cards are on the table. Like, Complexity is showing exactly what they want to do. And they're going to pick Bubbles if it's not taken. Like, that is pretty... I am pretty sure that they're going to.
Yeah, that's why. That's definitely what kind of leads me to believe that TTE Sports, knowing that they just want to take Complexity pair-ups out of their comfort zone and get a hero like Bubbles themselves, which they could very likely run. So... Tempest is that first pick. We'll see. It's going to be Bubbles or Valkyrie or even Cthulhu Font, as you mentioned. Or hell, even Plague Rider. Honestly, really all four of those heroes have a possibility of being picked up here by TTE Sports. So time is running out. About 5 seconds left. We'll see what Slicks ultimately decides. It is going to be Bubbles there. And now Complexity left for the decision. Either Plague Rider or Valkyrie, what I would believe is going to be... Oh, no, they go Cthulhu Font, actually, though.
Yeah.
Instead. So, yeah, they're the ones that finish off with Cthulhu Font right there.
It's going to be more of that Suicide Cthulhu Font. And the scary thing here for TTE Sports, I mentioned this yesterday, is when you have a pseudo tri-lane in your short lane with Ophelia, it's very, very scary to go against. Like I've said before, people just need to man up and go against these. It's very scary against Ophelia in your short lane.
Yeah. You
get some good creeps, you're getting some good vision. It's nearly impossible to go against that Ophelia pseudo tri-lane. So their best bet is to throw one down there, preferably the Tempest or the Wild Soul. I think Wild Soul's a better idea because Tempest farms very, very fast in the jungle compared to Wild Soul. So my guess is a Bubbles mid, a Wild Soul bottom, Tempest jungle, and a Torture Luna lane. That would, I think that would be the strongest thing that TTE Sports could do.
Yeah, we'll see how TTE Sports ultimately decides to go with their setup here. It is going to be very interesting. I mean, yeah, going up against that Ophelia pseudo trial, and it is very scary. But again, it's just so... It really is fascinating to see Complexity literally run at the same style of lineup every single game, and it works out every single game. It really is starting to remind me more and more of the Fnatic tri-lane phase. When Fnatic first busted out the tri-lane, specifically with Pandemonium and then eventually Gladiator, and no team could beat it. They tried forever and ever. It seemed like months and months of just trying to compete against it, and it just wasn't happening. So you can really start to say Complexity is starting to get on that level of just being so obvious with their lane setup, yet it just works out every single game. So you got to give them props, and you got to think that just ultimately comes down to skill level of the individual skill of the players and everything. So, what's that?
I like what TTE Sports did right there. The bear basically baited 4 heroes into coming to try to attack it, and Bubbles just like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo,
oh yeah,
and placed the ward right behind him. That was really funny to watch.
Now
at the same time, Moon Meander playing this Cthulhu Font did get the ward placed to his respective pole spot right there. So, but that's not really a big deal because he's going up against a solo, so it doesn't really matter that much. Now, Wild Soul versus Cthulhu Font, this could be very interesting. If Wild Soul gets some good procs on those entangles, level 2 bear, but level 3 himself, he could do a lot of damage and harass. Now, he is going, I can't find his bear. What has he got? He's actually going to try to pull. He's going to try to pull, but there's a lot of pressure coming out from both Glacius and Ophelia. Let's see if he can be successful in doing this.
This is ridiculous.
It's actually quite huge if he can pull this off.
Oh, hero blocking. They're trying to do it. Oh, no. Mage Bane blocking, but not going to be long enough. He is going to be able to pull it successfully. And, yeah, he will be able to. So, as you mentioned, this is kind of a big deal here in favor of TTE Sports. Very well played by Whitelaba, playing that Boo Boo, of course. And Boo Boo is going to live on top of that. So, it worked out very well, actually.
Yeah, but... You got to wonder where this creep wave is now going to go, because is it going to go mid? They're going to have a double wave.
Middle.
So either way, Bubbles just missed an entire creep wave. Now, he's probably going to miss it anyway had he not done that, so it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Like, if that never even happened, this lane control with Glacius, Ophelia, Mage Bane, Bubbles ain't getting anything, all right? He's not going to get anything. So it doesn't really matter that the double wave came mid, and that, in fact, is actually almost good. Because
I was going to say, because Torture now is going to maximize his farm even.
That's
so.
a lot of creeps mid right now.
Yeah, that is quite the creep wave mid. You see Torture even tanking it a little bit But no, he's going to gladly try to farm it up. Granted, the towers, of course, Taka, we talk about that all the time. You see Bubbles right there trying to snipe one of the last creeps from Ophelia, but Ophelia was actually good to fall back herself and force the melee creep to run up in her face, avoiding the shell surf. That was almost as if Chessie was controlling the creep right there. So that the shell surf would be avoided. That's just, again, a great heads-up play on his part, taking over the Skeleton King here, and now going to continue to farm with it. So, man, very good play by Chessie right there, but as you mentioned, Bubbles being played by WTF. Don't expect him to really have anything down here at the bottom lane. He's going to have a very, very difficult time, and once again, Haxorun on Magebane is going to get 100% free farm. So we'll see how that plays out. Of course, you got to think Torture here in the middle lane especially is going to have a very good time. And as you talked about, Wild Soul, he is level 3 now, so if we do see some Entangles coming out, perhaps a lot of harassment going to be coming. Then, of course, Tempest being played by Riser. If he's able to be in position, they could get a Bloodlust kill even possibly at that top side. So we'll see how that plays. But Moon Meander and Cthulhu Font, it seems like he's playing somewhat passive here, even using the Hatchet to sneak in a creep kill there.
Yeah, I'd like to say that this passive play actually... It almost benefits the Hellborn jungle because Tempest is going to farm much faster than Ophelia. If Ophelia is able to get some good ganks off, though, which Ophelia most of the time is, now he's getting Skeleton Kings, which aren't ideal. They do very, very little damage. Yes, they do snare, but you want something more like a Minotaur, because it actually does damage and tanks a little bit better than a Skeleton King. Now, both Ophelia and Glacius are actually mid. Bubbles actually has an idea, and he's able to get a little bit of experience down here, so that's very good for him. I don't know how successful Glacius is going to be actually ganking this mid lane, and we'll see. That is a little bit of waste of time, so hopefully they can get something done here.
Here comes Bubbles hit level 2. Nope, nice deny, and I believe that may have ultimately prevented him right there from hitting level 2. So Bubbles will have to wait even a little bit longer, but they are still trying to set up that gank. So yeah, Ophelia and Franzi and Chessie here, they want to get a kill, but I mean, it is not even coming close to pushing up or anything. So you really got to wonder, you know, what complexity is really trying to accomplish right there. Again, it's trying to obviously get the gank, but it just wasn't going to work. So they go back to farming, and Glacius is going to come all the way back to the bottom lane. And sure enough, Bubbles was able to hit level 2 because of that. So you could definitely say kind of a win, very small exchange right there, but one in favor of TTE Sports. So this top lane getting pushed back quite a bit, actually, as you see Wild Soul all the way up here, farming it up. Where the hell is this bear with that said?
He went to go heal it.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah.
So
Brings it back here. Doesn't have boots on it just yet. He boots on himself, though, and again, he just continually harassing Cthulhu Font with that bear, trying to just get off those Entangle procs and just keep it in the pressure. So Waitalba seems like he's doing a pretty good job up here. Take a look at the quick creep farm, how that's actually going. We got Cthulhu Font 17-6, Wild Soul 13-6. So actually Wild Soul is having the better time as he even steals the Vagabond leader right there from the side camp, which Tempest was attempting to do. So well played by Moon Meander, actually.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of Cthulhu Font, especially when you're in lane that's not very scary. I mean, Wild Soul's not going to... He could get some lucky Entangle procs, but he's not going to kill Cthulhu Font. He's just too damn tanky. He has too much HP. Actually, Bubbles in a lot of trouble down here. He is completely out of mana. We'll see if Ophelia is able to cut him off with a good creep. He does actually not have a creep. He just took over Catman, but unfortunately Chessie was not able to get there in time. So good escape eventually by Bubbles. Does waste a tiny little bit of time for Magebane, but I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world. And actually in the top lane, we're going to see some pushing coming out. Early pushing from both Tempest and Wild Soul.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you got a Boo Boo who is a level 3 bear, as we do see actually Trample coming in for Cthulhu Font. No pressure, though, as far as a kill coming, but just trying to keep them pushed back. But Boo Boo is level 3, so of course he's hitting that tower that much harder. No minions out from Tempest just yet. Probably with the next creep wave. The tower is just out of deny range at 145 lives. So yeah, they're probably going to get this next creep wave here, get the elementals out from Tempest, and then massively push it. So will we see ports come in here from the Legion team? That's going to be the curious thing.
No ports.
Yeah, you don't think so. I mean, Ophelia obviously not the best porter, especially without her minions. Fade, of course, has to sit in the middle lane. There are no homecoming stones anyway, so yeah, this is going to be a tower kill. It's whether or not Cthulhu Font denies it, and that would be a pretty clutch play for Moon Meander right here if he's somehow able to deny it. So as long as Waitalba and Riser play the safe, there we go. Waitalba gets the tower kill with Boo Boo. Again, so difficult to hold that off, and especially denied if you're Cthulhu Font there, so you definitely can't blame him. So
yeah,
well played there.
You know, I'm actually surprised how well TTE Sports is doing in mid. Because he is actually getting good levels. He's almost level 6, but he has no farm whatsoever. He only has 3 CS, and you'd actually think that a Fade was able to get, or someone in mid was actually able to get more CS than that, because the wave naturally always comes back to the tower most of the time. Sometimes it's well, that's why I'm saying, like, this was one of those times maybe that TTE Sports is really controlling the mid lane, because it's very hard to do in mid sometimes. But TTE Sports is doing it. Slicks has got complete free farm. He's 37-15, highest in the game, even more than Magebane. And you got to attribute that to the extra wave that he got in the mid from that Wild Soul bear. So that's kind of funny to think about.
Oh, this bottom rune's interesting. Oh, it's picked up by Bubbles, but he hits by the Burning Shadows. Now Ophelia's running in. There's the nuke right there, and Bloodlust kill comes out in favor of Complexity. Fade's going to get caught, though, but Jesse's here with the minions. Minotaur's done. There's a Cam and nuke follow-up. Glacius with the attacks. Not the final auto attack going to go off, and Bubbles with the haste rune is just barely able to get away. Very well played by Complexity right there. Wow, I said Bubbles for some reason. Yeah, Torture with the haste rune. Able to barely get away, so well played by Slicks there in that sense. But that was great job. Great timing, really, from Complexity coming out and happening to collapse onto Bubbles as soon as he tried to ninja the regen rune that was initially there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Bubbles, and now Magebane and Glacius are doing some pressure of their own on the bottom lane. Magebane has the boots, going to go obviously for that rune cleaver as pretty much a very, very core item on him. But they're pushing this up a little bit. Bubbles is able to get a little bit of farm now. He's going to hit level 6 pretty, relatively soon, and that's really good for him. You see, now he gets completely another free wave. So that's very good news for him. He does not need farm at all, and in fact, let me look at his farm. He does even have 8 CS. I'm actually surprised even by that. So that's just a plus. And he's getting good CS right there. He missed one there, but level 5. So he's very close to hitting level 6. Again, I've talked about all the time that Bubbles is one of those level 6 heroes. He does not need farm for his spells to be effective.
Yeah, and so of course just one level away now, just hitting that 5 mark. We'll see if any gank opportunities come out in favor of TT Esports, but Bloodlust kill did happen in favor of Complexity. Granted, it took a little bit of time there, but sure enough happened, and they have the 1-0 hero kill advantage as a result. Moonmeander up top lane. He's pushing up quite a bit, but he does have a Helm of the Black Legion and boots, and he is Cthulhu after all. So maybe not the most worried for good reason here against this Wild Soul and Tempest being in the jungle. Speaking of Tempest, running into Fade right here, actually. Fade does have her ultimate. Is she going to try to use it maybe to go for a kill? Not going to do so. And in fact, Tempest spawning some minions, going to try to turn this around. There goes it. Oh, the ultimate from Tempest actually locking down Fade. I'm not sure about that. Was very interesting actually as Cthulhu also came in and Tempest fell, but Fade with her ulti activated, she was going to be invisible. Now the Entangle will hit Fade right here, and Fade will end up falling in the end. Another hasten on Torture, by the way, as he's going to charge in on to Cthulhu, but of course Cthulhu will just take the damage and be more than fine. But yeah, that was a very interesting exchange there between Fade and Tempest.
Well, I think the thinking was, Slicks was probably like, yo, ultim, I got a haste rune, I'll be up there in a second. Yeah. But it just didn't work out. He was too far away. And while it's not the biggest deal to burn an ultimate like that this early on, because you need to use your ultimate, more times than not, we'll see Tempest just hold on to that ultimate for like 20 minutes and not even use it because there's nothing happening in the game. So it's not the biggest deal to waste the ultimate, but I just think it was kind of just way too early. I think he could have maybe waited a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, obviously Riser's the one playing Tempest, but I think you're right. That wasn't necessarily his call as far as making the ultimate use. You could have been right in the sense that maybe Slicks was saying, use your ultimate, I'm coming up there. And sure enough, so he was just obliging right there. Obviously, it just didn't work out in the end, at least initially. Now, they did get the Fade kill eventually, so it really ended up being a one-for-one exchange. So that was an interesting exchange nonetheless there. Really coming up to the 9.5-minute mark now. You do see Wild Soul actually activating in his ulti form right there. And he's actually going to go over to the jungle and clean up this last Screecher here. So going to actually try to do the pull with the Screecher, trying to get back some lane control. And, no, we got the Warlock at least, but none of the melee creeps assisting in part of that. But if you look at the gold per minute chart right now, Torturer, Cthulhu, Magebane are really all on even track here in this game. But, of course, you got to think that's in favor of Complexity, especially with Haxorn on Magebane at 330 gold per minute right now. They are doing a pretty solid push here at the bottom tower. Double Minotaur Catman push here. Coming out from Ophelia. This tower's easily going to fall. Chessie gets credit for the kill, and he heals everyone up. Heals everyone up, including his minions, and they're going to fall back. So good gold swing right there in favor of Complexity.
Yeah. One thing, I've been watching Leon Black for a while now. Now, Franzi placed this ward in mid quite some time ago, and he placed it in complete full vision because Leon actually action at the top. Wild Soul will most likely go down. He is in ulti form, but the double ulti coming out from both Fade and Cthulhu as well as the charge right there. I think he's going to fall. He is quite tanky though. Jeez. If he had response immediately, I feel like they would have been able to turn this. He might actually live, but Fade has another stun in 1 second. Bubbles does come in with a response, but it's not going to be. Oh, the entangle does happen! Oh my God, the entangle does happen. I bet Beacon is pissed. And oh my God, talk about RNG.
Wow, what a turnaround right there. WTF, perfect timing. And you talked about it. Waitalaba was in his ulti form. He, by the way, got even a kill. And he has a regen rune, which is given to him by Torture right there. So he is just lucky. He is loving life right now after what just happened right there. And as he said, I'm sure Beacon is just 100% pissed after that situation. That was just really, really unfortunate for him right there. So very good turnaround, though. That's RNG for you. That's boo-boo. That's just what happens. That's just part of the hero and something you ultimately have to live with. But, God, we just saw his tanky prowess there at only level 9. 0 items. I love this hero. I always state this. He has 1,400 life with boots. Literally just boots. So he was able to take all that damage, stay alive. And now they're going to actually counter-push this top tower. We'll see how much resources Complexity spends to try to defend this.
Yeah, no, the good thing is actually coTteS right there charges in. I don't know about this charge. They might not actually be able to turn on no, but he is very, very tanky. The Entangle actually does come out, but again, like I said, he's just so damn tanky. And that's a really thing that Complexity has working for them right now. Now, Magebane, of course, is free farming, and that's obvious. That's working for them. But coTteS very, very tanky. And one of the things I see Complexity do a lot, actually, is they run the same exact lineup, except instead of coTteS, it would have been actually a Hellborn gets tower in mid, so very good job for them. But instead of coTteS, they'll have a Bubbles pickup. And so right now, with that, if they had the Bubbles, their team is naturally very, very squishy. That's just their strategy. But I actually think coTteS, I don't want to say an improvement, but it seems like it works almost better because he is so damn tanky, and they actually have a tank on their team to work with. So we'll see how this plays out. I don't know. Obviously, Bubbles is very strong in his own regard. He has extremely strong spells, requires no farm to use them. But I'm liking this coTteS pickup. We'll see how Moon Meander plays throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, having that tanky presence in team fights is definitely never a bad thing. I mean, coTteS is a hero that will provide that by all means all throughout the game. And again, really what makes coTteS a great hero for that is his third ability especially. That Mortifying Presence, it's one of those abilities that it's not so obvious that it's actually working unless you're playing the game. And I'm sure TteS Esports, they'll be feeling that throughout the game, whether it's a hero kill or a creep kill coming out from coTteS, you will be slow both in attack speed and movement speed. So that definitely can prove to be a very effective tool all throughout the game. Pulling back up that gold per minute chart, it looks like WildSoul at 346 gold per minute. He has actually purchased a Sword of the High, so he is very close now to that Mocker Brilliance, another 700 gold or so, and he'll definitely be picking that up. And you got to think that's around a 15-minute mock here, going to be coming out from Waitalba. Very, very quick one at that. Are you fine with him going for just a very quick Mocker Brilliance here?
Yeah, I think if you're farming that well, it's a good idea. Now, it's funny, he's actually doing well because most of the time when you lane WildSoul, you don't farm as quickly as you do in the jungle, at least in my experience, because last-ending creeps can be kind of awkward sometimes. It's much easier to deny creeps. I mean, when you're in the jungle, those are guaranteed creep kills. It's not like someone's going to be denying them from you.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more awkward in the lane. You don't have 100% chance to get that creep kill or get the gold from it. So I find that this is actually a very, very fast relic Sword of the High considering the circumstances. One thing I did want to talk about, though I tried to talk about before a fight, was a ward was placed here in the mid by Franzi, and it's not there anymore. It was countered by Leon Black, but Leon Black actually had a ward before, so he had complete vision of Franzi, or Peter Pan Dam, placing that ward, and it took him a long time to actually counter it, but they had complete full vision, and I'd like to see them maybe work a little bit faster to actually counter the wards that they know that are placed.
Yeah. Now, I see B-Kid running around right here. He's level 8. He's obviously had horrible farm from the very beginning of the game. We touched on that a couple times. And, of course, getting turned around at the top side, that was just a very frustrating moment, I'm sure. But Fade right now is 1-2-1, only farming 140 gold per minute. Again, it's still only level 8. Do you think Fade is really kind of struggling here for Complexity, or is it actually just fine where he's at considering the circumstances?
Well, she definitely is struggling. But the thing about Fade is it's kind of a similar concept of Bubbles. So you don't really need farm on her to be effective. I would say you need levels. Like you definitely need a level 11. That ulti is just really, really short level 1. It's still effective. It's 20 seconds. But level 2 is when you really can start doing things with it. But regardless though, Fade is still very effective without farm. It's very annoying as a support on the other team to have to constantly counter ward against a Fade. And yeah, so I think he's still doing fine. Actually, bottom lane, Magebane does get rooted here by WildSoul, but he will be fine. They're not able to combo any more stuns on him. That's very unfortunate because that was a very good root there. One thing about WTF's item build is very interesting is he has 2 bracers, so he's going definitely more of that tanky route. And I gotta say, I kind of agree with that, especially against a Fade.
Yeah, that obviously makes sense. Fade definitely will very likely try to scout him out going into these team fights, if not just trying to gank him individually. But, having those braces puts him over 1,000 life, at least when he has the steam boost at the strength, when he's hit to intelligence. But they're going to mass push this bottom tower, and that thing is not being defended. That is going to quickly fall. They're going to port to the middle lane because Chessie was trying to do a counter push. In comes a Kelfo, perhaps. The word's going to Kelfo. No, he's not going to do it, actually. And Bubbles in a little bit of trouble here. Nice take cover. The Minotaur's done. And actually, all 3 of the minions take a lot of chain reaction. Well, they take the chain reaction nuke, but they are going to be fine in the end. The top tower was also being pressured but TTE Sports was also able to respond to that. So actually, again, very good push and then defense setup coming out from TTE Sports. But I keep holding this GPM chart up, and it consistently, very slightly, but it still stays in favor of both Cthulhu Font and that Mage Bane here for Complexity. And the overall gold swing, however, as a team, is ultimately in favor of TTE Sports at about 1,500. Experience going for 1,300 in favor of Complexity. So a lot of back and forth here, really, in this game, I guess is what it really comes down to at about 16.5 minutes in. And, you know, really, that's just a perfect example of this being a very, very even game right now. Evenly matched teams going at it, and a very even game as a result.
Yeah, Mage Bane just picked up his Root Cleaver right now. It's about almost 17 minutes, a little actually later than we would expect, considering he was in a complete free farm lane. But Fade actually just saw up there. Fade's getting very, very close to a portal key. I guarantee that's the item that he's going to pick up. But right there, even he ulted top. The duration is just too low. He wasn't able to make a play off of it, and actually just had to waste it. So that's the unfortunate thing with Fade, that it doesn't hit level 11. But like I said, Beak is going to get very, very close to that portal key, and that's definitely going to help him.
Maka Brilliance now on Wild Soul, and I find it a little bit interesting. Currently, he has it on himself, actually, rather than the bear. So, actually, or am I mistaken? No, yeah, he definitely has it on himself. So I wonder if that's a special tactic here from Talibor, if he just simply forgot, which I find that very hard to believe. As far as now, maybe it has a little bit to do that he doesn't want to mass push this lane up. He wants to actually be able to farm it up and maybe not mass push it. I mean, I guess so, because you see Wild Soul himself is kind of sitting back a little bit. Not affecting the creep wave, but a little bit interesting there, as he does put it on Boo Boo finally. But
my only thought is that maybe he thinks that Fade is on him. Okay, even though Fade was just mid, so maybe he just showed himself. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just trying to fish for reasons why he would have it on him. But yep, he just goes there and puts it right back on his bear, and we'll pull these Ancients right here to make it a stack while he's farming the bottom lane. So good job by him.
Oh, middle lane Torture getting combo on everyone joining the party. Even the Mana Rift coming out from Mage Bane, and the quick kill happening. As a result, it was 4 to the 5 heroes there. The only one out there was Cthulhu Fun. That started with Fade, though, jumping in. A nice root from the Skeleton King, controlled by Chessie, of course, on Ophelia. And the kill shortly happening after. Boo Boo's nearby, but was not able to deny it. I don't think Wild Soul was close enough to even get the deny attempt in there. Chessie gets credit for the tower kill, and a pretty good push in the end happening for Complexity as a result of that. So yeah, very well executed, and they set up a kill on a Torturer who has been having a pretty solid game, being played by Slicks, of course, but that is going to slow him down as he drops down about 312 gold per minute now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like, I almost feel like he should have bought back there. I really do. If they coordinated a buyback with people defending that, they could have made a really big fight there. Fade does just pick up her portal key. That's going to help out a lot. And again, Complexity's just in a great spot right now. They have a Mage Bane with a Rune Cleaver who just bought it like about 2 minutes ago, but is already farming like crazy, getting up to that 400 gold per minute. This is what Complexity does. They do not have the harder carry on Hellborn. Now, Wild Soul, yes, he does have the potential to have 12 item slots, but I really think Mage Bane with his mobility is just going to completely outfarm Wild Soul and just completely spread out the map.
And you got Cthulhu Font. I mean, obviously a lot of focus is on Mage Bane, but man, Moonman or Cthulhu Font, he is damn tanky himself and continues to just even get more tanky. It's kind of ridiculous how beefy he is already. He's going to push this top tower literally by himself as well. He has another 670 gold save up. He's farming 392 gold per minute. He's actually keeping on par with a Rune Cleaver Mage Bane that has had it for now 2 or 3 minutes even. So I would think he's going to be working into a barrier item. I know Moonmeter specifically loves that item, but especially in this case, especially on Cthulhu Font, he already has a Shaman's Headdress finish. Just makes a lot of sense. Now look at this. Congor is being attempted by TTE Sports. You see Boo Boo's going to die right there. He's just going to respawn him, though, and go back to tanking it. Now, Complexity, they are going to send a Skeleton King over, so good heads up. Good presence of mind coming up from Chessie. And sure enough, the Skeleton King spots it, and now Complexity, you look at the minimap, they're all starting to react to it. Will TTE Sports fully commit to this, or will they fall back themselves? Tempest is off to the side. He is level 11. No portal key just yet. It looks like he's trying to save up for it at about 1,850 gold, but not there just yet. You got Tempest or Torture as well with a rune or an Astrolabe picked up. So no PK for him or anything like that. The Minotaur army in the front lines, will they actually try to take that out? Not going to do so. And actually Cthulhu Fun now with the barrier idol finish, by the way. He's going to start taking Congor himself. So Complexity they're going to try to play a little game themselves now of what are you going to do to stop this? Bubble, Shell Serve, not going to put it in there. Wildsel running a Barrier Idol use right there. And now Wildsel perhaps in a little bit of trouble. Trample only hitting Wildsel. Will they be able to take him out in time? Out comes a great kill from Torture on the midst of it all. Torture doing a lot of damage right here. The Legion team needs to be very careful. Mana Rift, it was on TteS, but he had full mana right there. A horrible Mana Rift coming out. Glacius will die, and TT Esports is going to turn around this fight, and very likely now they can try to finish off Congor as a result of what just happened right there. Very, very interesting scenario right there as that played out. It is not over just yet, though. Magebane blinks away, and yes, they're going to go back to Congor, and I do not think Complexity will be able to stop this. That's going to be close. TT Esports not committing to it, actually. Very interesting. Don't want to be clumped up, I guess. They got the bear. Are we going to see any Entangle procs? No, we're not, at least just yet. Whitelaba playing this very safe. Both teams are so cautious right now. And Glacius has resurrected. In fact, Fade jumps in right there with the Portkey on Wildsel. A great trample on top. The Tempest coming in. The ultimate, it locks down two as a Magebane and Ophelia, but he gets stunned out by the Ice Imprisonment. Cthulhu still in the front lines, taking a lot of damage, but of course he is more than fine. And actually, Complexity is going to be able to come back here and very likely kill Congor. And TT Esports, they're going to say, screw it. It is over. Let them have it. Wow, what a fight right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just because, honestly, Cthulhu is so damn tanky. He's not dying. And this Barrier Idol pickup is huge right now. Also, at that right there, that fight, Beacon had just the perfect stun. He blink stunned, and the Burning Shadows hit 3 people right there in a line. It was really perfectly placed. Now, yeah, I was watching the whole time, too, and I was just like, if Tempest had a portal key, this would be huge. But he didn't. He just picked it up right now, and that's going to help a lot. But, oh, yeah, and I don't know. I just think the Complexity had too much fight or too much longevity in these fights. They have the double heal coming out from Chessie. They have the Barrier Idol coming out from Moon Meander, as well as his entire tanky nature. The Helm of the Black Legion pickup on Magebane is making him a little bit more. He's able to fight in these fights a lot longer. And also, when Franzi died, he was the only one that died. He's only level 7, so he basically just respawned in 15 seconds and came right back. So.
Man, do you think TT Esports actually had a chance to ninja Congor, though? Really, Congor was so low. Magebane had just blinked away the other direction. It seemed like they could have gone to Congor and committed to it and actually got the token alive. I mean, it made a setup for an epic Congor fight right as they got the kill, but I feel like that TT Esports could have committed to that and ultimately gotten it. But I can also at the same time see why they were playing so passive.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if they just went in right away. In fact, not even chase. I think they wasted a lot of time chasing Magebane right initially. I don't even think they should have done that. So that's unfortunate. Now, here's the thing about Magebane. He's so hard to deal with because he's so mobile with his flash and his blink spell. He's getting so much farm. He's up to 440 gold per minute. He's gonna have that. I'm guessing Firebrand here picked up right now. And gonna go for that Geometer's Bane. He did go the Helm of the Black Legion, makes him a little bit more tanky. I think I like that. And their team is just actually quite tanky, and they have late game written all over it. So, and they're definitely winning in both categories: gold, 4,300 gold lead, as well as a 7,300 experience lead. So things are looking really good for Complexity yet again.
God, look at this push though from TT Esports. This is ridiculous. This tower just literally dropped in less than 10 seconds, from full to nothing. Less than 10 seconds. It goes down. Now, bottom tower is also being pushed by Complexity, but invulnerability is used, and actually ports are coming out right here. So the base tower now taking a lot of damage. And again, that bear in the front lines doing the damage to the tower, but is going to fall back, as is the rest of the team. So they got the ports to be used. And it looks like for now, TT Esports is pretty happy with that. By the way, speaking of more item pickups, Portal Key on Bubbles as well as TteS, as you mentioned. So a couple of great initiation tools right there. Torture has a Tablet of Command. And going back to that, actually, I mean, there was that fight where it was going uphill into the Ancients, and Torture was activating everything with the Legion team clumped up. It almost seemed like that was going to be really deadly for Complexity. But I think you're right. The longevity of this team is kind of ridiculous. The double heal with the Barrier Idol, or excuse me, the Astrolabe and the heal ultimate from Ophelia, of course. You got the Barrier Idol, and we just kind of saw that right there. And then even, of course, Magebane with his blink ability applying that armor, actually, to everyone. The 5 magic armor all across the board, as long as they're nearby for the team, which could definitely be very useful against this open team, of course. So yeah, and you look, I think the stats explain themselves. We're 4-3 hero kills, 25 minutes in. This is definitely one of the lesser intensive games as far as kills go, but I don't think it's been necessarily lack of action, though, either. It's just, again, it's just been a lot of just longevity going on between these two teams.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that the score there accurately shows just how intense this game has been. Storm Spirit now picked up on Chessie. I don't know, again, if that's the full the full thing or just the component or just the recipe, but it has been picked up on him. Yeah. Now here's the problem: just coTLaFont is so damn tanky. I mean, he's sitting at basically 25, 26 armor about, now extra magic armor with a flash, and then the barrier idol. I mean, he is so damn tanky. You're not going to kill him unless you use all spells on him. Well, guess what? If you use all spells on him, Magebane's going to tear your team apart. So it's really, really hard. And then in the meantime, Magebane's just, I mean, every single time I look at him, he buys an item, and then bam, there's another 2k on him. So that's just the nature of that hero, and you don't have that on the Hellborn side.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Wild Soul, but that's it. And that's what I talked about with TT Esports. They generally run this very, actually, Blinken, I'll let you take over, Breaky.
There we go. They're trying to catch Chessie right here, and they very likely are going to get the kill on Apheliac. She's so good pick off coming up from the Hellborn. She used her heal at the last second, too. Fade off to the side. Do they have any Bound Eye or Vision or anything? She's going to stay back there. coTLaFont thinking about charging in. Magebane is also here, but remember, Magebane has the token alive. Chessie cannot buy back, by the way. She does not have any money, so this will be a 5 versus 4 fight in favor of TT Esports if they choose to take this. The only ultimate that was used was the Kelfield right there, so of course they still got Tempest, and well, I guess that's really the only other big ultimate that they can use right here. But this tower is going to drop in. That's what I was going to say. You know, TT Esports, maybe not even necessarily because of the circumstances. I mean, really going into this game with the line, this is probably what they're planning on doing. But they just got to mass push towers now because they have a Wild Soul, a Torturer, a Tempest. They got a really effective tower pushing team, and it is showing throughout this game. So that is now the 5th tower kill, and they are leading 5-4 in favor of tower kills. So, and you look at the Magebane farm now up to 470 gold per minute. But look at the overall gold difference. It honestly isn't that big of a lead in favor of Complexity. It's only a 2,600 gold lead now, 27 minutes in. So I think that's where TT Esports still, by all means, has a chance on their side. You got Boo Boo with Soul's Bulwark picked up, another 1,700 gold on Wild Soul. You got Tempest, another 1,900 gold, and 1,700 gold being saved up on Bubbles, and then 2,900 on Torturer. So a lot of gold being pulled up now on the Hellborn side as well. It's being a very patient game, but it's almost as if they're waiting for that really prime spot of we get the Hellflower, we get our Shrunken Head, and then all of a sudden let's make a push happen. I think that's where TT Esports is really at right now.
Yeah, and you know, WTF on Bubbles has made a great recovery. You know, we always talk about recoveries when we're talking about suicide heroes, and he's doing really well. I mean, farming 250 gold per minute. I would like to compare that to B-Kid, who basically was the suicide for Complexity. And B-Kid's, he's been struggling for farm. He's been playing really well, though. Oh, God, this counter ward. I don't know if that was really worth it. You're going to die most likely, Lulu. Can she get away? She does stun, but Glacius comes there with the freeze. Bubbles comes in here. They want to act. Oh, no, but the Glacial downpour wasn't even needed. As I think Chessie's nuke just destroyed there, right? Did a lot of damage on Leon Black. But, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world to waste that cooldown. Yeah. But they do get the kill on Leon Black. He does get the counter ward, but so does Franzi as he counter wards that ward in the bottom rune.
Yeah, I mean, the Kelfield again, it's not the longest cooldown. It's still another, about 60 seconds more, and it'll be back up. But obviously, it did seem like Luna was really dead no matter what. It says almost a getaway that was at the very last second. And, you know, again, she is the bitch ward support. She went for the counter. She's only level 8. You know, a kill's a kill. Probably best to not use your big cooldowns and not risk dying yourself for the sake of her dying. So, but anyways, a little fun exchange in the end. No harm, no foul, really, with the Luna being the only one to die. But as a team, I mean, TT Esports really grouping up here and just trying to get any type of farm they can get going on their side of the map. Again, as I said, though, Torturer, I believe Shrunken Head is going to be in the works. And, in fact, there you go. Yeah, he just got enough gold to purchase of the Shrunken Head. So that's what she has. Geometer's Bane has been finished on Magebane, of course. Bound Eye picked up on Fate. I believe he's had that for a little bit now. And then I believe I saw a Warp Cleft on Wild Soul. Yes, it is on the Bear, so Demonic Breastplate actually going to be in the works for him. And then a Hellflower in the works for Bubble. So again, I think it's maybe that waiting for the Hellflower and Demonic Breastplate really at this point is really where TT Esports is going to be like, okay, we have these core items. Let's go ahead and maybe try to break through now as a result of that. Because again, if you just try to keep competing farm for farm, you know, as you like to talk about, granted Wild Soul is technically a 12 hero item slot hero. Magebane is still Magebane, and he gets pretty damn scary throughout the game. Yeah. Oh, and Entangle proc actually on a Magebane doing the Ancients, and they're going to burn him down. Wow! The first hit RNG right there works out in favor of TT Esports, and well, if you're going to get back into a game, that's exactly the way you need to do it.
And it looked like a lot of golden experience actually swung. Look how very close it is now. Yeah, I didn't see that. Did his token just run out just then?
It must. I was thinking he's going to resurrect, but yeah, it must have just worn out.
Love to go back recently. And see. Boy.
Man, first hit Entangle to take out Magebane.
Well, it happens. I mean, let's look at the actual percentage. Does it show it? Does it show it? I can't find it. I think it's, I want to say 30. It might even be higher. I don't know. Could be 20.
You mean the chance?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Actually, yeah, it doesn't say it,
Shoot.
unfortunately.
I know
But,
it's somewhat high. I don't know. I could be wrong. I want to
I
say.
wonder if it says in the hero decks actually.
Yeah, maybe it does.
There, real
I'm
quick. I
very
don't even think
curious.
that does actually. Yeah. Anyways, but
I want to say it's 30. Anyway, regardless, first hit entangle. It is very, very good for him, as they are pushing the bottom lane here.
man, that was huge, huge, huge. And so not only did that get them a kill, you talked about a little bit of gold swing, but more of a gold swing because they finished off the tower at the bottom lane
It's
because
even.
that demonic breastplate finished by Boo Boo. I mean, man, TTE Sports, again, I keep saying, Mage Bane is up there at the top GPM in the game, but as a team, this is actually literally an even game as far as gold difference goes. About a 3,300 experience for Complexity, about 31 minutes in. This is no doubt the toughest game Complexity has had all throughout the DreamHoN Summer Championship so far. And what is game one of the Winners Bracket semifinals. So this is definitely turning out to be, again, a great, great game here, as we really expected. And it really is gonna come down to you can just feel it. It's only 5-5 hero kills. Again, we've had a couple of epic battles, not the most kills happening, but just a lot of very cautious play going on. You could just feel there's going to be a big Tempest ultimate. Cthulhufon's going to trample in with his Obliterate. Bubble's going to go with the kill. I mean, it's just going to happen, and everything's going to die, and it's going to be epic. So I just can't wait for that. But.
Tempest has a shrunken head right now. She can buy it right now.
There you go.
If she gets at least Mage Bane, because Mage Bane is the only one that can cancel it. Even that Mana Rift can still go through that shrunken head. Mage Bane is the only one that can cancel it. If he's able to get Mage Bane plus more.
Skeleton King.
Oh, that's right.
Can
Skeleton
too.
King's from Ophelia.
So-
Now, she does have one.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, if Chessie's able to keep his distance with the Skeleton King, that's right. That's very effective.
Oh
as
no,
well.
Torturer went for the double damage rune. The Invisible Fade picked it up right in front of her, and Mage Bane jumped in with the Geometer's Bane and just absolutely tore him up. So that's a great response here from Complexity. You see Luna barely able to get away as she avoids the trample from Cthulhuphon, but Congor is up. Torturer cannot buy back, and this is very likely going to be a Congor kill. So man, talk about a game of momentum here. This is getting ridiculous, just the slight swings we keep having. But Complexity, they'll definitely take it back, and it's again, I'm pretty sure they're going to get this Congor kill, especially with Torture dead. I don't think our Hellboy team should even risk fighting it, and they're not going to, it looks like. So Congor should be dead, and Mage Bane will most likely be the one to pick up the Token of Life here.
Yeah, definitely. That's horrible. If you're TTE Sports, it's really, really unfortunate. They might actually maybe try to do some kind of snipe here, but I doubt it. Barrier Idol is popped, so even if they jump in here, it's going to be a for sure token. And yep, there it is. So just like that, when they had a really good thing going for them, now they have a Mage Bane who has another 3K and a Token of Life. I mean,
boy.
yeah, that's just so unfortunate. But that's part of the reason why Fade is so good. I mean, Fade. Remember, we had Minuts a long time ago on an interview. Said I asked him, why do you like Fade so much? And it's not so much that the ganking potential. It's just how it affects the other team and how they have to play. And unfortunately, Slicks wasn't able to play against the Fade, and knowing that Fade's always has the potential to always be around, has clear vision, makes it easy, very easy for a Fade to gank, and you put in Bound Eye and a Portal Key on top of that, just makes her so powerful.
Yeah, and again, I didn't notice the full situation there, whether or not even the Hellboy team had wards. They could have very likely, which eventually got counter-warded, of course, by the Bound Die, but I mean, that was a risk there by Slicks. He knew it was. He tableted in to try to race to get the double damage rune before the Legion team got it. So he clearly knew at least somebody there from the Legion team was there. But as you see right here again, he's going to go for an invisibility rune, but this time he's going to be fine. But you can safely say that the Greek kind of got to Slicks right there, as is known to happen. Slicks is one of those style of players that he will kind of get over a little bit overzealous sometimes and ultimately go into his death. Now, granted, that's what makes him a great player, I think, as you know, some of the better players out there. NoTail's another prime example, I think, as to what helps make them they're great players. But there will be those moments where you take that big risk and, well, it just doesn't pay off. Now, Bubbles does have a Hellflower he just finished, and obviously that will be a very powerful tool to use here now for the Hellborn side. So they still got Tempest. They still got a big Tempest ultimate with that PK Shrunken Head. If they can manage to pull that off still, by all means, I think TTE Sports has it. And again, especially with the way this game has been going, just complete momentum swings, anything can happen. But Complexity, no doubt, is back in the lead here now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Complexity, in my mind, they still have this game. I mean, Haxorn is farming 510 gold per minute. It's not going to slow down. It never will. And the thing that sometimes you worry about when you pick a Mage Bane is that he sucks out all the farm from everyone else. But no, Moon Manor still got 350 gold per minute. Chessie has 300 gold per minute. Now, Fade definitely is struggling, but it doesn't look like it. I mean,
Yeah.
he's sitting under 200 gold per minute, but look at he's got his core items. He's got a Blink Dagger, has a Bound Eye, as well as 3k gold pulled up. So doesn't even look like she's struggling that much.
Oh, we see a big fight possibly coming up, though. Cthulhuphon again taking so much damage here. He's actually at half-life. Going to be Storm Spirit. In comes that Calfield. Fade jumps in with a portal key. In comes the Saga Casino. And Cthulhuphon will fall before able to do anything. However, Magebane jumps in. Shuriken at Torture, though. Trying to take this damage. Going to be fine for now. Magebane needs to be careful. Blinking away. Will survive. You see the Ophelia heal coming out. Cthulhuphon can buy back, but he's choosing not to, at least just yet. But the Hellborn team has the numbers advantage currently. However, Complexity was able to sneak on out of there before any much more damage was done. But yeah, Cthulhuphon, man, he was tanking that tower forever. He kept getting CC, could not get out, and ended up working out for the Hellborn side. So, you mentioned Cthulhuphon's such a beast of a tank here in this game. At least TteS Esports was able to take him out right there, and now they're going to do a little bit of a counter push. But again, Cthulhuphon can buy back.
Yeah.
They need to be careful not to get baited here.
Yeah, I actually don't know really what Moon was doing there. The Hellflower came out onto him as well, so he's taking a lot of damage, and I expected him to be like, oh god, they have a Hellflower, okay, I'm going to back. No, he just still stood there.
Yeah.
Just still stood there, like pounding on the tower, taking a lot of damage, but I doubt he'll buy back because he has 15 seconds left to res. But, that's going to be scary because that's 15 seconds of just pure pounding
I was going to say, I mean, still, that is very debatable, honestly. They are going to use invulnerability, but he's now up for another 5 seconds, and it looks like, yeah, so it is going to ultimately be enough. Magebane, in fact, blinking forward even. What is going on? Oh, that's a take cover bubbles. That was what was happening. Actually, WTF still in a lot of trouble. Can he juke right here? No, he portal keys away at the last second, and he does have a homecoming stone, so he's going to use it right there and be fine. You see Fade running up, but no, WTF will survive, so... no damage done in the end, or not enough for a kill at least, coming out from Complexity. But yeah, good patience by Mumia. Like I said, that was getting close, but he did not buy back, and that proved to be the correct decision at least. So, a game of pickoffs, man. That's really what this game is at. We only have 12 hero kills, 37 minutes in. But boy, oh boy, is it still pretty exciting.
It is. I mean, it's actually quite... I'm really impressed how TteS Esports is playing this. Despite the fact that Haxon has this token, I actually feel like they could just go push up his 5. I don't know why they're continuing to farm on him. He's got plenty of farm, okay? We got it. You are 520 gold per minute. A lot of farm. Okay. Now you push up with that token. Last time they weren't able to use it at all and ended up wasting it. And this time they did push up mid, but Moon kind of... unfortunately, didn't play that the right way and just died before able. Actually, I think that Haxon should have honestly just jumped in. He did have the token. He's very, very strong, tanky, does a lot of damage, and I think he did actually jump in onto Slicks, but a little bit too late. As Slicks did pop that shrunken head, and the Magebane wasn't able to do anything after that.
Yeah, see some good counter warding going on right there from Leon Black, actually putting on the ward of Rev and taking out that ward of sight from our Legion side. Now, Bound Eye, obviously, Fate has had it for a long time. Do you think it's actually getting to the point where it might be worth for the Hellborn team to invest into a Bound Eye here, whether it's on Torch or a Wild Soul even?
Yeah, well, I think at this stage of the game, Bound Eyes are pretty standard. I mean, just simply for counter warding purposes. You normally see them actually much earlier because the idea is you want to counter all their wards and then put your wards up so that you can further then see where they place their wards. And then it just becomes a really, really horrible cycle of they will never be able to get wards up because you counter their wards first.
Yeah.
So if you're in this position where they bought a Bound Eye way before you, and it's very easy to work it on Fade because she has that clear vision. And she can go in through trees and be invis. So it's very, very effective on her. But I don't think it's the biggest deal right now. I think right now they just need to get very, very tanky and survive the jump from Complexity.
Well, we see Fade right here. He is setting himself up now. Of course, he does have that portal key, but he still has another 17 seconds on the invisibility. He's back behind the tower. Look at Boo Boo just sitting at the tower, almost an extra tower right here. Just kind of intimidating the Legion team. And it is going to be enough to scare them off at least, and they will fall back. But again, man, only 12 kills now. We're getting close to 40 minutes in here. But I keep going back to it. Not this honestly isn't a just slow game and boring game. This really is just it feels like to me at least this is one of the better played games we've had actually, especially of the DreamHoN Summer Championships here. So
yeah,
both teams are just that good. Now I will say Riser on time. We have not seen a Tempest Ultimate for a while now. It's been a long time.
I was going to say he's due for one.
Exactly. We're waiting for that one sweet spot. Or I know he is specifically of just that one sweet spot of holy crap. Here we go. And all of a sudden, that big ultimate comes out. So
now it is 6-6. Let's keep that in mind too. It's not like there's been a ton of hero kills,
exactly, yeah.
And he just hasn't been involved in them. In fact, he's been involved in half of them. So,
yeah.
right there you go. Now, they wasted the token again. I just don't agree with that. Now, I know it's very good to use a token for as long as you can, don't fight, and maximize your farm with it. That's a smart move. Slow play that. But just use your token and pushes. There's no reason not to.
Yeah.
It gives you an extra hero, basically. So I don't agree with that. I don't think it matters in the end because I still think Complexity is in an extremely good spot. So much gold now still pooled up on Magebane. Almost 5K. As well as Fade's kind of been sitting on 3K for quite some time. I'm waiting for her to buy something. But yeah, Complexity's sitting in a very, very good spot right now.
Well, we keep looking at that, but look at the overall gold difference. It's still remaining to be so minimal. It's only a 2,100 gold lead in favor of Complexity. So if I'm TT Esports right now, yes, I am very worried about Magebane, but on an overall level, again, you have a Wild Soul, who he is going to continue to get farmed himself. He has 3,500 gold saved up. He is well on his way to his next item of choice. I don't know if you have a specific item that you'd like to see on Wild Soul here as a follow-up. I mean, he's got the typical Demonic Breastplate, Mock of Brilliance. Would you like to see anything specific here?
Let's see, what does he got here? Against this Legion team, they do have somewhat of a lot of magic damage. I think a Bear Idol would be good. Again, I love seeing Striders on Wild Soul simply because you can walk in with maximum movement speed once those Striders activate. Other things to pick up on him, let me see what you find his bear. It's always hard sometimes. Where is it? Oh, it's with
Right
you.
next to him, yeah.
Okay. I really love Ghost Marchers on the bear. It makes the lack of collision makes it very, very easy to maneuver around. I definitely think that's a must pick up. Actually, I'm surprised he doesn't even have it already. But he's going for more of those core items. Oh, Abyssal Skull should be definitely picked up as well.
Yeah.
So those are the things I think I would pick up on him right now.
Well, he has 4,100 gold, so.
And that's one thing I want to talk about is Wild Soul. I don't think is one of those heroes that you really need to pull up gold to buy an item and then be able to buy it back. Because if they're able to kill Wild Soul, they're probably going to kill your entire team too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, actually, in that case, if they're able to kill Wild Soul, your entire team's probably already dead by that point.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that Wild Soul should just buy his items. Actually, Fade here, Mike catch his Tempest. Nope, he's all by himself. So this is a very, yeah, again, this is only 6-6, 42 minutes in, but really the numbers don't do it justice. Like,
Yeah.
it seems like there's still quite a lot going on. And actually, I don't know if TT Esports has actually timed Congor, and an entire Frostwolf Skull picked up by Magebane. That's going to be so hard to deal with. But there is a Shrunken Head on Tempest, there's a Shrunken Head also on Torturer, and maybe he's going to go for that. Well, Luna's going to be a prime target there for I almost said Meraxis, but Haxorin.
Oh man, you see the complexity. They are charging up here. You mentioned that Frostwolf Skull just purchased. Now, the downside of that, he doesn't have buyback money right now.
Yep.
So if I'm Complexity, I'm a little bit cautious about trying to get involved in a big fight right here because that Hellflower gets applied to Magebane. All of a sudden, he's taking a lot of damage and he dies, and you're not gonna be playing with him. So this is a pretty interesting. This is going to be a very interesting decision here by Complexity to see whether or not how many resources they really invest into try to maybe pick a fight right here. Now, obviously, as you talked about where they're going to time Congor, he obviously hasn't spawned yet. They were kind of hanging out this area for a little bit, so it seems like they're interested, but still no Congor yet. But also to remember, Congor will be dropping bananas this time as well on top of the Token of Life. This will be the third Congor kill, and that makes it even that much more of a reason to of course, go for the Congor kill. So we'll see, but it's setting up to be a possible big fight right here. We'll see if Complexity or TT Esports can get any initiation off. Obviously, we are sitting in a pause here, though. I believe B Kid put up the pause vote. So hopefully nothing too serious. Again, just a quick little...
They're ready to go.
Looks like they are ready to go. So, yeah, I can't wait to see what happens coming out of this pause break, though.
Yeah, I just feel like this is going to be one of those games of passive, farm, and then bam, one team fight, game over. Like, it seems like that seems to be the thing that happens in these games. But you're right. I mean, if TT Esports is able to spot the fact that Magebane just... Okay, and they are. Magebane's farming freely and in vision is showing that Frostwolf Skull. They've got to suspect, okay, there's no way he's hoarded 8k gold. Well, maybe there is, but he didn't. And they should probably suspect that. Now, Congor is being attempted right now by TT Esports. They knew the vision. Look at all the warding coming out from
that is ridiculous. They have revs everywhere. They are playing for counter warding as well as Fade, of course. You see Cthulhu running up, taking on a rev. Man, but TT Esports not going to fully commit to it again. They are going to start falling back here. Now, again, if you're Complexity, you need to be careful. Boo Boo, Boo Boo's actually dropping right here. This could be a pretty big deal. Boo Boo will be able to respawn, but that'll be a 120-second cooldown now. So Wildsoul needs to be careful not to just suicide Boo Boo in this next team fight right here. You do see Congor just above half-life right now, regenerating quickly as he does, of course, especially higher up in the game. But Magebane doesn't have buyback money still, so complexity. It's a very good reason why they're playing so patient here, not really trying to force anything. Because if Magebane dies, that could be a big game swing right here. You see the Ancients being cleaned up, but both teams continuing to play very, very patient and passive again.
Again, this ward right over here, I really like it by Franzi. Placed right here. He's placed it, I think, 2 games now. He placed it yesterday as well. And they have not counter-warded that yet. They've counter-warded pretty much everything else, but not that one. And actually, Chessie throwing in a Minotaur in the Congor pit, seeing if they're doing it, but he's going to get some good information. Now, in the meantime, Magebane's just sitting here pounding on this defense tower as he is so tanky. But yeah, he was actually in almost a little bit of trouble there.
That was close.
Yeah, that was kind of close. But they don't really have... I'm trying to think here. They do have a stun coming out from Tempest. And I guess they could jump them because they have multiple blinks as well. So, yeah, it's... Again, I think this is going to be one of those fights that's going to be everyone's going to die on one team and then game over.
Now, Chessie does not have a Skeleton King right now. And as we talked about earlier, the only way to stop it now because of that is a Mana Rift from Magebane. So as long as Tempest gets Magebane in that ultimate with this Rocket, oh, Fate is going to open right here. Here comes Magebane. Tempest is going to drop it before it even starts. Looks like Aluna's now taking a lot of damage as well. Bubbles comes in. Magebane being bursted down, and Magebane will fall. No, he survives that. Oh, did he buy back? I don't even know what the hell happened, actually. That was an illusion. That must have been. Anyways, the Hellborn team got Aluna and Bubbles dying. Anyone buy back over here? It looks like Tempest did buy back, but he wasn't able to come back and make something happen. But you see Magebane jumping back in on a Wild Soul. Is Tempest going to think about going? Magebane sitting there at a good chunk of life still, about 3,100 max life, actually. So, yeah, he's more than fine. In fact, goes back on and Torture's now completely out of mana, being locked down. Wild Soul trying to help him. Not going to be able to do too much, though. And Slicks will eventually fall. The tower is also going to fall. So, again, complexity. They're just so damn beefy. They have so much way to stay in the fight. And for a Hellborn team, I mean, again, still no Tempest ultimate for the longest time here. Not that I'm blaming him, but man, they really need a clutch Tempest ultimate here, it seems like.
He's got to stay further out. That's all there is to it. They're getting caught. Beaka's doing good pickoffs. There's the Tempest ultimate. It actually gets quite a lot. I'll let you take over, Breaky.
It gets 05, but where is the follow-up? Torture comes back. There's a chain reactions. One player goes down, it looks like, and Fade, but everyone else is still well alive. Magebane blinking away at the last second before he falls. A look at Cthulhu. He don't give 2 shits about that ultimate. He is standing in the foreground, taking the damage now. Ophelia will go down, and now Cthulhu maybe he's going to start giving a shit because he is actually dropping pretty quickly here. And actually, Tempest locking him down. Wild's still going to be chasing, and yes, Moon Meander will end up dying. So the buybacks work out right there. The 5-man Tempest ultimate that TteS Esports needed comes through in the end. Man, if they got Magebane on top of that, that would have been perfection, and they almost did exactly. But he was able to blink away at the last second. But they may actually get Congor here.
Yeah, that's eventually. This is if they do get Congor too. That's going to be in favor of TteS Esports for sure. The only thing though is Magebane still has 2 buyouts. That's very, very scary. Now Beaka did buy out also that fight. At the very beginning though, yeah, I do agree. I think Riser needs to play a little bit, way further back. Now, the thing is, if you're too far away from your team, it's actually quite easy for Fade to combo you. But Fade doesn't really have any items. I mean, yes, Fade is scary, but Fade has a blink. That's it. She's not going to combo you down by herself. She's going to need help. So, Congor does go down, and that's got to be really, really good for TteS Esports. Lots of farm on Wild Soul. Wild Soul actually has almost 7K.
Wow.
And has the bananas as well. So
Torture got the token, by the way. You like that?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I mean... Slicks just played a little scary for me this game, honestly. My heart stopping a couple times. But it's really hard also against a Magebane who has a Frostwolf Skull. Even with that Shrunken Head, it's still going to apply that massive slow on him. So I feel him. As a Torture, playing that Torture, I feel him. It's very, very hard this game. Magebane does have another 4,300 gold saved up. If he sells that Helm of the Black Legion, that's going to be about another 1,100 gold that he could buy something with. So he'll be sitting at about 5,400 gold. So if he wants to buy something like, say, a wing bow, he's going to need about, I don't know, 2,300 more, something like that. But
possible initiation up here. We have Fate trying to set something up. Of course, he's invisible, so looks like he'll be fine. He's going to fall back. Now, what did I just see purchase?
Savage Mace.
Was that on Wild Soul? So he's going to give it to Boo Boo would be my guess, and Boo Boo's going to even hit that much harder now in these fights. Do you like that pickup?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I really do. Again, I still really like to see the Ghost Marchers pick up on Boo Boo. It just makes it very, very easy to maneuver him without that collision. Makes him very, very fast. Yeah, I really like Ghost Marchers. But, Savage Mace is going to do so much damage. I imagine he's going to put it on Boo Boo. And when they decide to push, if they do, sometime, They're just going to sit far back, and Boo Boo's just going to sit there and just destroy the tower all by himself. Now, the thing is Glacius is very good for that, the Ice Imprisonment, and you can expect that the Legion team is just going to collapse on that bear and, try to kill him, so...
Now,
I'm interested to see what's going on.
You talked about Torture and how obviously Mageman especially he's so scary. Mageman is so scary against him. Why doesn't he have a Void Talisman yet?
He should buy one.
Yeah, I was going to say that seems like that'd be a very good pickup actually, especially in a hero like Torture against this lineup, specifically for that Mageman. I mean, he could definitely sell that power supply and get a Void Talisman, but he isn't choosing to just yet. I mean, he by all means has to go for it. And of course, at this point, you got to be thinking buybacks too, and he only has the one buyback left. Again, on that note, him and Riser both using a buyback. On the Legion side, you had B-Kid actually playing that Fade. He's used a buyback as well. So only 3 buybacks used so far total. But still, we're now coming up 49.5 minutes in. We're tied at 11 hero kills apiece. This goal lead, it continues to literally be the same, it seems like. It's barely sitting between 2,000 and 3,000 in favor of complexity every single time I seem to look at it. Again, it's not a big lead by any means. It's very, very even, especially now that we're hitting close to the 50-minute mark here. So... that continues to be ridiculous. Token of Life is still lasting for another 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Bananas was eventually transferred to Bubbles, who does also pick up a Storm Spirit there, by the way. So will TTE Esports make a push and take advantage of this Token of Life and Bananas that they have currently? We'll see. It looks like in the middle lane they're kind of grouping up, making something happen perhaps.
They're grouping up, and they're going to lose a tower top because of it. I doubt I will see them actually all TP, when they do fall back. I don't know. I think... I don't agree with that. I think they could have gotten a free tower if Haxorn stayed up there. But he does go back. He does buy his wing bow. If he dies, he will not be able to buy back.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. If you're TTE Esports and you see that, just kill Magebane, and you'll win the game. There's really actually quite little farm, if you really think about it, on the rest of the team. Yes, Moon is quite tanky, but his farm has dropped off. He's not really able to farm anything. And Deny on the tower, actually, I don't really agree with that. But, yeah, all this farm is literally completely dumped on Magebane at this point in the game. You kill him, I can imagine you're going to win the game right here.
Look at Boo Boo hitting so hard. Now Boo Boo's getting locked down, and Boo Boo will end up falling. So again, Wild Soul needs to be careful here not to sacrifice Boo Boo again. That is a lot of invested gold that will be lost if he sacrifices Boo Boo once again. So he needs to be very, very, very careful about that. But he was doing so much damage with that bear, not only on the tower, but even started on the racks before it eventually got trampled on and eventually taken out. But this next creep wave going to push up. You see Willie send Boo Boo in. It looks like he's going to play a little bit more cautious. He goes in with it, but quickly falls back as soon as he sees the Legion team reacting. So a little bit of tippy-toe action going on here from both sides, really trying to feel each other out, waiting for that one prime spot of just being able to jump in and make something happen. You see the port back of Boo Boo.
Oh, look at B-Kid.
Oh, look at B-Kid from behind. Now Revelation is down right on top of TteS. They know that he's here. There goes a jump from Fade. Actually, TteS being locked down. They're going to focus TteS in the background. Shurik'en activated on Mageman. The TteS ultimate is pulled off. The Mana Rift was used before. He is still alive. Cthulhu still the miss. That Mageman still taking all the damage. He's fine for now, but will it be enough to survive in the end? He's just doing the right-click auto attacks. Torture will go down. Token of Life going to bring it right back up, but now Wild Soul being focused. Boo Boo is still up. Magebane is still well alive right now. He blinks it forward, takes out Wild Soul, and Complexity has pulled through with this fight. We see how Luna is going to get picked off, and Torture Slicks, man, you ain't going to go nowhere. He tries to somehow survive, but he will fall. Basically a genocide right there, as I believe, did WTF buy back? No, he didn't end up dying. Full life and full mana. Okay, he had Bananas, that's why. But still, what a fight there for Complexity. Great jump on a Tempest to start it.
B-Kid won this game. I mean, every single one initiation has been from B-Kid. And this shows you, I mean, if you're struggling, doesn't matter. You have the right draft and right heroes and the right idea. You can win the game. Fade's a great idea, or a great hero for that. And hands down, in my opinion, B-Kid won that game for Complexity.
Wow.
Definitely MVP of that game.
What do you make of that concede right there? I mean, they had buybacks on TTE Esports. Wild Soul Torture actually had buybacks. I double-checked that. So, I mean, I get it. I do in the sense that, obviously, that was such a frustrating fight, and it basically showed right there that with all your resources still, you got defeated. But, I mean, I still would have liked to at least see an attempt right there at the finish. But, again, Complexity, they win no matter what the reasons are. For very good reasons, for that matter, though. And Haxorn on Magebane, he just got way too powerful. That Wingbow pickup, I mean, he was not dying in that last fight. I don't know if that was because of lack of focus fire or he was just evasioning everything. But
no, the Tempest, I mean, Riser did a good job. It was very unfortunate. He played back. I mean, I said Riser needed to play back. He played back, but B-Kid was with those, I don't even know what to call it, but really great maneuvers, was able to go all the way around, find him, and go on him. And despite getting no one else in the stun, that was not important. They got the Tempest. They that did exactly what they needed to do. But Riser played it as best as he could given the situation. He used that Tempest Ultimate. He knew he had no way to get out of the slow from Magebane. So he used the Tempest Ultimate. It was actually ended up being a good Tempest Ultimate. But there was just actually too many units on top of each other. It was hard to focus at Magebane. He didn't get focused down whatsoever.
Yeah.
And ended up, being able to get out of the Tempest Ultimate with still full life and everything, and just did so much damage.
Yeah. God, that was... we said it, man. We said it was going to come down to that one last epic fight, and sure enough, there weren't many fights in that game, but when they happened, they were pretty damn epic. So congratulations to Complexity. That means they're up 1-0 here in the winners bracket semifinals. But boy, oh boy, did TT Esports ever show that they can not only compete, but have a very good chance of winning themselves. I'm very interested to see what's going to be happening in game number 2, as I'm sure you are. With that said, guys, we're going to take a very short break here, and we'll be right back. So definitely sit tight, go grab a snack, go grab a banana or something, eat healthy, and then be right back. And we'll be casting some more Heroes of North action. Break CBK. Joining me is Ralph Medor. Complexity versus TT Esports coming at you very shortly.